All right, everybody. I think we are going to go ahead and get started here now that we got some folks showing up. I appreciate your patience with our technical difficulties, but that's because we're trying something new out today. We're having a rally, and we're trying to allow folks to attend this rally virtually. And anytime you do something for the first time, there can be a little bit of technical difficulties. So appreciate your patience with figuring out or allowing us to figure out how this works. So with that, just a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, my name is Charlie Wishman. I'm the honor and privilege of serving as the president of the Iowa Federation of Labor, AFL-CIO. And we are going to be having quite a few speakers and some videos and things like that from folks who are interested in stopping changes to service standards when it comes to post office. Now, you are able to attend this on
So what's wrong? I can't see. I think I'm in, but I can't see.
Sorry, I muted everybody. So you are able to attend on Zoom here with us, and we appreciate that. We are also live down at the post office with Iowa Postal Workers Union President Kim Carroll. And looks like she's just arriving at the rally right now. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we will do our best to get those answered. In addition to that, we will be live streaming on Facebook Live. And so
You can hear everything better. Until then, I was just going to show you the group that's gathering here and encourage everyone to come and join us here at 1165 2nd. We're on the university side of the post office, but I'll mute myself again.
Nope, you're just fine, Kim. So I was just going over everything, and so here we go. Here is the rally that's going on right now. Got a great turnout there, so again, if you have questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat here or ask them on Facebook, and we'll try and get all your questions answered. But with that, while Kim gets situated a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and share a video here from our state auditor, Rob Sand, while Kim gets ready to participate in the program. That doesn't seem to be showing up at the moment. There we go.
Hey folks, hope you're doing well out there. State Auditor Rob Sand here. Sorry I can't be with you today. We've got some family obligations here in Des Moines. But just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you do day in, day out, every day, all over the place, every city, every town. It really means a lot. People appreciate it, people notice it. I really hope that we're successful here in making sure that our mail delivery stays quick and stays reliable. It's our ballots, it's our bills, and everything that you're fighting for is important and matters to people. So keep up the good work. Thanks.
All right, very good. Appreciate that from State Auditor Rob Sand. Had family commitments, was not able to join us today. So the first thing that I think we want to talk about, and this is the most urgent action, I think, is to stop changes to service standards. There's a lot of ways that you can contact folks as far as making your voice heard. You know, the decision to request the advisory opinion and change the Federal Register concurrently, historically, the advisory opinion is sought and then the Federal Register is changed. This is rushing the process and an urgency that is not supported by data. I'm going to go ahead and put up right now the way that you would be able to contact the Postal Service to say this is how you are able to, like I said, you're able to contact the Postal Service. You can go to the URL you are able to go to the prc.gov/contact. That's the URL, or you are able to email PCF Federal Register at UPS.
Okay, Charlie.
.gov.
As you can hear, there's a lot of action and enthusiasm here from passersby as well as participants in our rally. We are hoping to have the technical difficulties worked out here briefly so that the speakers we've had lined up for the event will be able to be heard in the online environment. We appreciate everyone's patience as we continue to work out the technical difficulties. The issue is so important, and we're really glad that we have everyone with us today. I'll keep you posted here. We should have it worked out in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Kim. So a question from David, can I put that info in the chat that I just shared? Absolutely happy to do that. So that's prc.gov/contact, as well as you can email at.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to get a place set up here for us to have our speakers where you can be heard.
Okay.
And I'm trying to change the video.
Squeeze people in here.
Lance, can you show me how to turn my video around so that I can show the, instead of,
Ooh, I gotta think about that.
does it allow me to do that? No.
So we see we got a good crowd there out front of the.
Change my camera so that you can see our crowd that's gathered here at the Postal Service. Again, we're still working on the speaker side of this, and appreciate everyone who's coming to join us. The weather's holding. It's beautiful. It's a great time to make a statement, and we appreciate everyone's participation.
Absolutely, Kim. Thank you.
You're good. Oh, look at Ronnie.
Can you hear Charlie?
Yep, I sure can. We can hear you on our end here. Yep, we can hear you, John. We can hear Kim as well.
Are we ready?
Go ahead.
I'm working on it. Your microphone is. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Can you hear us now, Charlie?
Sure can hear you just fine, Kim. No, you're freezing up.
Here,
That was my fault.
lots of folks that have come out in support of what?
Go ahead.
Is it working?
Yep, we can hear you just fine. Go ahead and start the program, Kim.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We appreciate your patience. The situation is so important that we get the public the information that they need in order to make good choices about the future of the Postal Service. At risk right now is service standards, first-class service standards. The Postal Service has already initiated the hearings to change first-class mail service from 1 day or 2 to 3 day to 5 day. And that's going to impact Iowans and people who live in rural or remote communities adversely, and it will forever change the Postal Service. So we felt it was necessary to hold a rally to help educate the public about this devastating change. Right now, we have an opportunity to stop this change. The public comment period for both the Postal Regulatory Commission and the Federal Register is ongoing. It's happening simultaneously. We are encouraging everyone who cares about the first-class mail delivery and service standards to enter a comment at prc.gov or PC Federal Register at usps.gov. These are very simple email forms that you can register your name and your concerns about the changes being made.
All right, thank you very much, Kim. So I put both of those into the chat so people can see that. I'm going to go ahead and share that screen again here so that folks are able to see exactly how they are able to contact the Postal Service and the Federal Register to make sure that they get their comments in. Again, that's prc.gov/contact, or you can email PC Federal Register at usps.gov.
Charlie, just to put it in perspective, the Postal Service has indicated that this is only going to affect a small percentage of the mail, 30% of the mail. Unfortunately, the customers that I see on a daily basis, that's going to affect 100% of where they're paying their bills. I've been watching, and I actually look for my own personal bill paying addresses. My bills go to Florida, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, Arizona. All of those are going to be changed from the 2 to 3 days to the 5 days or longer. And so the risk here is that people who live in rural Iowa, rural communities, remote areas are potentially going to have late fees that are assessed to them because we are not going to be processing mail the way that they deserve and expect. What is very upsetting is that the Postal Service has admitted that they are making these changes without talking with customers and making the assumption that we will be satisfied with adequate service. And we're here to tell the Postal Service and Congress and senators, we don't want to settle for adequate service. We deserve excellent service. It's something that is attainable. Just 6 months ago, we handled the mail volume of the recent election without any issues. We can do this, and it's not going to take a nuclear option like changing the service standards to be able to make that attainable. So with the public support and public pressure, we will be able to stop this and form a postal service that reflects what the American public really wants and deserves. But they have to speak up today during this comment period. We've got to get this stopped. And we appreciate everyone's participation. With that, I'm going to go get one of our other speakers so that you can hear from other folks, not just me. Again, thank you for all of you that are joining us virtually, as well as those of you who came to be with us in person. It's very exciting to have so many folks here today. So I'm going to mute myself and go get a different speaker for you.
All right, Kim, I'm going to put up a video of Lonnie Maddox, who is talking about prescription drugs and exactly what you're talking about and delaying the mail.
Hello, my name's Lonnie Maddox. I'm retired from the post office, put 14 years in there. I'm also a disabled Vietnam vet. Kind of concerned about the post office. As veterans get our medication through the mail. And we can't delay that medication. Not only the vet, but there's many retired people out there that count on the U.S. mail. And we're not getting the service that we deserve. 18% of the post office is veterans. It's a good place for us to go to work. And we deserve being veterans and retired people, we deserve better service than what we're getting from the post office. Please help us correct this so we can relax, not have to worry about getting our medication on time. Thank you.
Well, thank you to Lonnie. I see Kim is back here. And I believe that our next
We have
speaker.
obtained audio from interviews that
Oh,
Tucker
boy.
Carlson did with Bubba the Love Sponge between 2006 and 2011.
That's not quite right. All right, I think our next speaker here is somebody we know quite well. This is the president of the Alliance for Retired Americans, as well as a proud AFSCME 3450 member. I'd like to introduce Brother Mike McCarthy. Mike, get unmuted and take it away.
There you go.
Now, am I good now? Want me to
Good,
start?
Mike. Go for
All
it.
right. All right. It's good to have a lot of people out here rallying for the post office. It means a lot to all of us. I'm Mike McCarthy, the state president of the Iowa Alliance for Retired Americans. I've got a few things to say about seniors. Now, during May of every year, we celebrate Older Americans Month. Now, us mature Americans share our wisdom and experience to inform today's decisions and actions to build strong, resilient communities. And we only ask to age in dignity and security. Now, this COVID-19 pandemic created unprecedented hardships on older Americans, particularly those in communities of color. Now, seniors have suffered the majority of fatalities from this virus, with more than 80% of all deaths to date have struck people in this category. Now, isolation, disability, difficulty in traveling, and illness means many cannot journey to their local pharmacy or doctor's office to renew their prescriptions, fix or repair indispensable equipment, or acquire medical supplies. Instead, these necessities are received by mail from the United States Postal Service. And this is an indispensable and life-preserving requirement for many seniors. And every blow to the delivery schedule endangers the life and well-being of American seniors. Every office closed, every truck waiting in the parking lot until it's full, and every unnecessary slowdown of mail processing is a peril of unmeasurable threat to the life and well-being of senior Americans. Now, the United States Postal Service belongs to all Americans, and it must be returned to its full functioning operations. It must no longer be a threat to the life and well-being of older Americans. We must return to the Postal Service that is service-oriented and responds to the needs of all Americans. And today is the day. So thank you for your time, and let's keep the post office service.
Thank you, Brother Mike. Appreciate everything you had to say. It's everything he said is right on point as usual. It's hard to think of many groups of folks who rely on the Postal Service more than seniors. So again, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and put up that share my screen here. And again, the American people deserve better. You can demand better by making comments during the public comment period happening right now. The deadline for this is June 22nd, so it's coming up, but you still have plenty of time. For URL, if you just online, you can go to prc.gov/contact, or you can email them at PCF or PC Federal Register at USPS.gov. Again, that's prc.gov/contact if you just put it in your browser, or you can email at PC Federal Register at UPS.gov. While we're waiting for our next speaker here, it's been the Postal Service has been under attack for over a year now. Actually, it depends on what fight we're talking about. It seems as though the United States Postal Service and its employees have been under attack since the pre-funding debacle long ago, in the mid 2000s. And the only way to, we've learned that the only way is to fight back. And so we appreciate your activism. We appreciate everybody who is down there. And it is such a great turnout that we see down at the 2nd Avenue Post Office here in Des Moines. This is very encouraging, Dennis. The turnout, the fact that people are taking action, whether it's through email, through leaving comments online. And don't forget to contact your state representative, your congressional representatives, both in the House and in the Senate, in case, well, you know what, looks like Kim is back right now.
Yeah,
and
I went and got Debbie. She was in conversation with some of our participants and explaining to them the problems that arise with the Postal Service using the COVID year 2020 as the year that they used to signify that they needed to make these drastic changes. They also recently posted about loss of revenue in a quarter where we saw the highest incidence of COVID for the postal employees. From October to November, we saw huge increases in employees that were affected by COVID. So it's not an appropriate measurement for the situation. And so she was explaining that, but I'm going to let her now talk to you further about that and the dangers of the consolidation of and closing of plants and offices. Okay,
great.
Debbie.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Debbie.
Kind of hard to hear you.
Nope, go ahead, and I'm just going to go ahead and quit talking, and you tell us how folks can make a difference and contact the federal government about the changes that they don't want to see, or changes they do want to see with the federal government, with the Postal Service. Sorry.
Okay. Well, so my name is Debbie Zuretti, and I'm the Executive Vice President for the American Postal Workers Union. And I'm also part of a national task force to try to stop the consolidations that was announced on April 27th. And besides that, of course, we are also going through service standard changes that Postmaster General Dejoy wants to put through. These changes degrade our mail service even further. They already degraded it once in 2015, and Congress has been trying to pass a resolution to be able to get a bill on the floor to show that the Congress wants better service, not worse service, That's what the Postmaster General should be working on, and he is not doing that. The 18 sites that he has selected are from a phase 2 program that management had agreed from the top levels, and we also had an arbitrator that made a decision, an agreement that there should be new feasibility studies, and the public meetings are part of those feasibility studies. So far, the Postmaster General is refusing to do any of that. He's just going in and chopping the plants up, taking out the mail processing. He does not understand our network, that a lot of these plants that were targeted in phase 2 were really important mail processing facilities that used to provide overnight service within the SCF area. Everybody remembers what it was like when you could send a piece of mail, a first-class letter, from one side of the city to the other, and it would get there overnight. That has not happened in a long time, because when they went in and they started doing these partial consolidations and sending the first-class mail up to another facility 2 or 3 hours away, that also caused the transportation cost to go up. And they just don't want to fix it. And that's a problem, because what everybody in this country is looking for is a better post office, not a worse post office. So the other thing with the service standard changes, there is a House Resolution 119, and we've got 85 co-sponsors. Last year, we had the same House Resolution up, and we had over 206 congressional members that had signed on. So we're hoping to get that done, and we're hoping to get the community to look at participating and making their public comments known. And we hope that we'll be able to get the Attorney Generals as well to look at what the Postal Service is doing to try to privatize the mail processing. So we really got to get our community involved. We've got to help educate them as to what's really happening, because he's planting a picture to make it look like he's going to provide prompt service, but he leaves out the word prompt. The word prompt is in the Postal Reorganization Act. And that's when we started with a postal service that was something that would provide all of our customers, all of our communities, better service. And he's just refusing to do that. He's forgetting that we deserve prompt service. And that's what all of our members want to provide, because we're proud of what we do in the post office. And let's bring up about the election last time. We have an election coming up in 2022. There are some states that are having elections this year in 2021. Every time he degrades first class mail, it affects our services with our mail ballots. We cannot let this happen again. And last year, thank God for all the people that stood up, the attorney generals that went and filed lawsuits, all of our congressional members that put on those hearings. That's what we need to do again. And so this is just the start to let people know. And this activity here in Des Moines, Iowa, I'm so proud of this local. I'm so proud of this state. There's mail handlers here, there's letter carriers here, there's APWU members here, and it's a great crowd. It's just so exciting, and we're getting a lot of honking and support from the community. So with that, I just want to say to all of the people who are watching, please have your own activities in your own communities. Send your letters to your senators, to your congressional members, get your city council involved, get everybody involved that save the Postal Service and to have good service, service that's prompt and efficient, not the line that the Postmaster General keeps saying, reliable and efficient. We're wanting prompt service, and there's no reason we can't do it. We've done it for many, many years. So, and the overtime and all of that costs the Postal Service so much money, and they always complain about it. Well, number one, back in 2012, we didn't have this overtime like they've had to have the last 5 or 6 years. So, bottom line, it's really important that we get everybody to stand up for their postal service and to make sure that their first-class mail is going to arrive promptly.
Well, thank you very much, Debbie. Really Thank you very much. Really appreciate you being here. And could you repeat again for anyone who's listening what the House resolution was that you'd like
Yes.
folks to call their Congress people about?
Yes, it's House Resolution 119. And what it does, it says it's to get the body of the House of Representatives to show support for making sure that the Postal Service goes back to the 2012 service standards that we used to have, that would then be able to provide all our communities that overnight delivery that they were so used to getting. And I want to say too, thank you so much for the Iowa AFL-CIO, because you're helping us to get the message out there and doing this live stream. We appreciate that so much. That's real union solidarity. We appreciate it.
Well, of course, we love postal workers, and our own communications director comes from the Postal Workers Union. So it's something that's near and dear to our hearts. So that's for sure. And we love APW 44, and I shouldn't start singling out locals. We love all the APW locals in the state. So thank you very much for being here in state, Debbie. We really appreciate it.
Okay, and thank you. And is somebody coming up next?
I believe that I got Mike Bates on my list next, but I'm not sure if he's ready or not. So until then, I'm going to put up how folks can contact their congressional representatives. So thank you very much, Debbie. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for everything you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again here. So if you are, these are some ways that you can contact our U.S. Senators, Chuck Grassley and Joni Ernst. 202-224-3744 for Senator Grassley, and for Joni Ernst, it's 202-242-3254. And by the way, you can also find all of these folks online. You can find their websites. For our congressional representatives in CD1, Ashley Hinson, you can contact her at 202-225-2911. Marionette Miller Meeks from Congressional District 2. You can contact her office at 202-225-6576. Cindy Axney, who has been an absolute champion for us on so many issues, at 202-225-5476. As well as in Congressional District 4, you can contact Randy Feenstra. Congressman Feenstra can be contacted at 202-225-4426. And the message here is to sponsor and support HR 119.
Hey, Charlie, I have one of our rally participants who would like to make a quick statement. Mark Cooper's here. And he's going to tell you why he came.
I don't know if Mark Cooper, if we want to let him on here, but I suppose. I'm just giving you heck, brother. How are you?
I can't hear.
Just rock and roll, dude. Go ahead, do your thing. Go ahead and speak.
Sorry, you're not on mute. You're here, and you can just see Charlie.
Okay.
That's the microphone it's picking up on.
Okay.
Just go ahead and talk.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mark Cooper, and I have the honor and privilege of being the president of the South Central Iowa Federation of Labor. And I'm out here in support of postal workers today because we're concerned about, as a consumer and as a loyal trade unionist, we're concerned about service. And service is always compromised when you have people that believe that it's not a service. And unfortunately, the person that's in charge right now, I believe he believes that it's not a service, that it's a business and it needs to be run like a business. But that's not how the United States Postal Service was set up. functions very well. I mean, where else can you send a letter from anywhere in the United States to anywhere in the United States for 55 cents? Where can you do that with anything? Any of these other entities that are in the private sector that are trying to mimic what the post office does? It just can't be done. It's an institution that we need to preserve, and that's why I'm here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Cooper.
NLC, or are they kind of taking hands off?
Okay, Charlie. There's something too that I want the audience to know. One of the reasons that we're out here is there is a component of the plan that privatizes the middle mile. There is a plan to expand surface transfer centers, and that is not postal operated. Those are private businesses. Our customers are beginning to see the effects of the surface transfer centers because during the tracking process of their packaging, the tracking stops for days. The problem is that those surface transfer centers do not have to maintain standards like the Postal Service, and they are consolidating mail until they get full trucks to the destination. And so for those, again, that live in remote or rural areas, it's going to take much longer for those trucks to get full and to be dispatched to the next delivery point. And that's another reason that we're out here trying to protect the service standards and the network, because we think that the customer deserves better. We think the customer deserves security in the mail, and transparency in how it's being processed and handled to their door. And the increase of these service transfer centers is not going to do that. So that's an important component. And what we're hoping to do today for everyone who's watching is to connect the dots. The service standards are essential in order for them to be able to consolidate the network so they can slow the mail down. It's also essential for them to be able to incorporate those service transfer centers and move the mail out of the mail stream. So these are all elements that are critically important that the customers understand, and we hope that they are opposed to and will take action to stop, because we want to be the ones processing the mail. Postal employees take an oath that we will make sure that the mail is handled in a secure and prompt way. Other companies and businesses don't have that same commitment, and it's important that the American public understands the risk that is happening at this right now, and how critical it is that they comment and stop this from happening.
Well, I think that you're right, Kim. There is a lot of risk right now, but there's also a lot of hope. There's a lot of positive changes that are being made to eliminate the legislative issues that have created the financial problems that are facing the Postal Service. The Usps Fairness Act has been introduced to eliminate the pre-funding mandate that has created the financial crisis that is driving the devastating changes to these service standards. As you said, it's about connecting all the dots here. It's about the devastating changes to service standards and the distribution network. And so I'm going to take a minute here and play a video from Congresswoman Axne, who has been an absolute champion for us on so many issues, whether it's the PRO Act or whether it's anything involving the Postal Service or more. So if you just bear with me here a second, I'm going to share a video from Congresswoman Axne, and hope you take time to give it a listen.
Hi everyone, Congresswoman Cindy Axne here. And even though I can't be with you all in person today, know that I'm standing alongside you and your APWU brothers and sisters as we fight to protect our Postal Service. USPS is synonymous with dependability day in and day out, and it's because of your constant hard work that Iowans in our smallest towns and biggest cities rely on the Postal Service for necessities. It's a time-honored reputation for service that postal workers have cultivated that makes the Postal Service essential infrastructure for our communities. That's become even truer over the past year, as Iowans relied on the Postal Service for necessities like paychecks, prescription drugs, and the list goes on, amid a global pandemic. You all faced a remarkable health challenge with determination and grit. That service is deeply and truly appreciated. And that's why we need to keep fighting to preserve the United States Postal Service's independence, maintain reliable 6-day service, get rid of harmful operational changes and the disastrous pre-funding mandate, and hold Postmaster General Dejoy accountable. Well, repairing the damage done and preserving universal 6-day service is essential to make sure you all continue delivering for Iowans today, tomorrow, and into the future. And that's why I'm backing legislation that would do just that and put USPS on a path to a bright, sustainable future. I'm proud to be backing the Usps Fairness Act to finally repeal the pre-funding mandate, and I've also signed on to resolutions ensuring that USPS remains an independent public service with strong service to all of our communities. We have a chance to act for the Postal Service by filling the Board of Governors with folks who are committed to USPS's mission and ensuring postal reform invests in USPS's most valuable asset, you, its workforce. So once again, thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart for everything you do in Iowa, and know that you've got a voice fighting for you in Washington.
So thank you to Congresswoman Axney for all you're doing to help out on these issues. So Kim, would you say that the Senate needs to vote and confirm and fill the final postal Board of Governors with nominee Anton Hajar, I think it's pronounced?
I believe it's Hajar, but
Hajar, okay. Excuse me.
so far that vote has not been scheduled. The committee has released the nominee to the Senate floor. The nomination is on the executive calendar, but the executive calendar, it hasn't been moved to a vote for the full Senate. That is something that's very important for us to get a full board that will be representative or more representative of the communities that the Postal Service serves in order to be able to make good decisions about what the Postal Service is going to look like in the future. The American people has the power to craft the Postal Service into the institution that they expect, deserve, and they've shown that power last summer when they all got involved to stop the removal of the machines and the destruction of the network at that time. We can do this if we do this together. The power of the American people is so critical in maintaining this great institution well into the future.
All right. Well, since we just had another call to action here to contact Senators Grassley and Ernst and urge them to support the Postal Board of Governors nominee, I'm going to go ahead and share that their contact information once again here. Senator Chuck Grassley at 202-224-3744. Or Joni Ernst at 202-242-3254. Call them, make sure that you want them to know that we need to have a full Postal Board of Governors and one that is going to keep the Postmaster General in check. Again, that's Senator Chuck Grassley at 202-224-3744 and Senator Joni Ernst at 202-242-3254.
Charlie, I want to thank you so much for helping us pull this all together and keeping it moving, transitioning and sharing all of the action items that we wanted to make the public aware. And just a reminder that the comment period for the Postal Regulatory Commission and the Federal Register ends June 22nd. So that is our time critical ask, in addition to urging Senator Chuck Grassley and Joni Ernst to vote to fill the seats on the Postal Board of Governors, and finally vote on Anton Hujar.
Well,
There's about an hour left in the rally, so we're hoping that we get some of you who've been watching all this time to come down and join us. Again, I assure you it's beautiful, the weather is holding, and we would sure love to see some more folks down here. I'm going to try to give you a shot of the crowd before we finally close the webinar, if I can, just so that you can see that there's a large number of people down here that are fighting to protect the service, to protect our rural communities, and to craft the Postal Service into the service that we all deserve.
All right, it looked like a great turnout before, and I'm sure it's only grown.
Yeah. Charlie, could you enable my video and then I'll do a final crowd scene and you can cut that whenever you think it's appropriate, okay?
Oh, sure. I didn't realize your video wasn't working. There you go. That should make it work. There you go. We can see it now. All right, I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Sorry about a little bit of technical difficulty, but again, this has been a really great experience. You see just the enormous amount of people who are downtown at this rally, and we're happy to be able to bring it to you virtually as well. Remember to take action and contact not just your federal representatives, but as well as contact the United States Postal Service as well to talk about why some of these changes are not necessary, and there's no need for drastic action. What we need to have is reliable service standards and reliable. We need to make sure that we have a reliable postal service. So thank you all again, and you have a great evening.